Each of them had to duck out of
Well,
there.
how's everybody? I'm out here, and we're out here in Wyoming, and we're on Mountain
Hey
Time, and
guys,
it got me screwed up.
he
Uh,
doesn't know how to tell
I don't know
time.
how to tell Mountain Time and all this, so it's 6 o'clock here apparently, and that's what kind of threw me off. My hair needs combing. I didn't even get up. I've been out in the wind.
Your hair does look fun.
Give me a brush.
I'm not getting you no
Uh,
brush. You look
give me
fine.
a brush.
No, I'm getting the light on.
Uh, it's the wind's blowing. It's cold out here. It's about, I don't know, 50, 45, 50 degrees. We're staying at a Harvest Host, which is a 5,000 acre
It is
ranch
awesome.
in Wyoming, and
I've put up
it
pictures
is
on TikTok
unbelievable.
and on YouTube, so hopefully y'all can see
Yeah, if you
it.
go over, I'm behind I'm behind a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks on my the 1 million mile road trip because we just have so much to put up there. We've been to Devil's Tower, we've been to Deadwood, we've been to uh, the Black Hills, uh, been running around with a group of other YouTubers, RV America, are good friends of ours, and we're going to Yellowstone in about 3 days. So lots and stuff that if y'all go over and watch our channel, you'll be able to see a whole bunch of stuff. So let me see where I'm at. I kind of lost here for a second. Been on the phone talking to a lot of my old friends because it just seems like a mixed up day today. Okay, we do want to still remember they are still looking for this missing people off the coast of Mexico in this boat, and probably the way it's going now, they may not ever find them. Hopefully, they'll find some material from the boat to give them an idea of what happened out there. Um, want to remember they are still looking for, as of yesterday, they were still looking for a 13-year-old believed to be near Devil's Lake State Park, but I don't know if they've checked the lake or whatever, but they were looking for him. Whereabouts of a 13-year-old boy from Wisconsin. Subjects whereabouts around Devil's Lake State Park. 13-year-old James Yaposki. I don't know how you say that, but authorities say this was last suspected whereabouts in the area. Barbu Bluffs near the westernmost part of Devil's Lake State Park. So 13 years old, they need to find him before somebody else kind of takes him in, and that could be bad. Um, Also, this Australian hiker, 24 years old, is missing in Canadian Bear Country. Uh, Said Julia Mary Lane failed to return from the road trip, prompting a housemate in Alberta, Canada, to contact her family in Queensland. And speaking of bears, we need to get some bear spray before we go to Yellowstone. We do.
We're doing the missing.
Okay, but I just remember that. Um, she's an Australian hiker, went missing in Canadian Bear Country. And why? Two things again. Why is she hiking alone? I do not know. I know everybody said, well, she's right to hike alone. Yes, she does, but I don't know. It's just this to me is I don't know. And this goes to show you where she was hiking. Um, she went missing in Canadian Bear Country, promptly an urgent plea from her family, prompting an urgent plea from family. Searches continue. 24-year-old Julie Mary Lane, um, living in a town in Alberta, Canada, was traveled to British Columbia for a week-long trip according to a social media post by her housemate. In the social media, Lane's Canadian housemate, Janet Hamilton, said she would contact Lane's family earlier Tuesday morning in Queensland after she failed to return home from her trip to Bear Lake, um, near the town of Kimberley. She said her family had not heard from Lane since Saturday morning and held grave fears for her safety. Lane, who is from Brisbane, has been living in Alberta, Canada, since early January. Her car was found at Bear Lake. Royal Canadian Mounted Police are conducting a search and rescue effort.
Somebody else must. Somebody else is coming in.
Sure, it's not here.
No, he's bringing him in next door.
Okay. Um, Lane's brother Connor wrote to social media early Thursday morning that police were searching the area where her car was found. Her Garmin watch last activity showed her on a hike on Friday near Maryville, south of Kimberley. Now, the thing is, that's really good, but somebody could have got her. I mean, it's for that watch just to end like that. Last we heard from her was on a hike heading for a hike. He wrote, "Please reach out and let me know if you have seen her or have any information where she might be." The message was on a local Facebook group. Hamilton asked for any information could assist authorities with Lane's whereabouts.
Maddie asked, "Is she around any? Were there any fires?"
I don't know. I don't know if any.
I think all of Canada's just about on fire.
Yeah, it's bad up there. Uh, Last, Hamilton wrote that she had spoken to her family in Australia. All they see, Hamilton, I guess, is their roommate, and then I don't know why I can't see how that thing is. Uh, all were very worried. Disappearing like this is completely out of character for JM, she wrote. They are normally in contact with her daily and not heard from her since Saturday morning. Days earlier, Lane had posted on Facebook group requesting recommendations for local hikes in the region. "I'm visiting from Camor for several days and would love to join any moderate to challenging hikes anywhere anyone has planned." Now, see, that may be a problem. She may have got with somebody and something happened. "I'm comfortable hiking solo, but would prefer to go with a group to minimize bear risk, of course." She could be solo, or she could have gave information about a hike that she might do to somebody and they did something.
Yeah, because
You know. And this is I posted. It says Portland's serial killer fears dozens of missing women. Girls raise a red flag in cold cases. Experts say, and I did read where a serial killer had been caught, but I don't think it's the same one.
yeah, Beach Bum's
So
right. Beach Bum says, "Who's to say the girl actually went on a hike?"
yeah, whether or not Portland has surrounding communities have a serial killer, the sheer number of missing persons in the area has been cause for concern, according to a veteran cold case investigator. Police, in a statement last week, downplayed concerns of a serial killer because they didn't want everybody to go nuts after bodies of 6 women were discovered in and around the city in a 5 month span. Roughly half of the 140 missing from the what is that sound? That
It's
no,
a county.
okay, county in Oregon so far this year which includes the city of Portland, are women and girls, according to the state online database. There are currently 401 active missing person cases statewide. However, Joseph something, a retired New York Police Department sergeant, now a adjunct professor of the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, said the sheer number should be considered a public safety concern, even if there's no foul play as expected.
Yeah, Beach Bum says, Beach Bum's right. She says, too late not to freak people out.
Yeah, fears of possible Oregon serial killer raised after 6 women found dead in Portland. And I'm gonna tell you, Portland right now too
Yeah.
is kind of a cesspool along with everything over there, because Oregon is just about every drug is legal there. They can shoot up heroin on the side of the street. You know, this shows the 5 of the women here that were found dead, and where they were found. It does look like they could be, they're looking at DNA and a bunch of other stuff to see if,
You know, that DNA
they're
caught
going to
that
be,
attorney in New
yeah,
York.
yeah, they did that genetic type thing. Um, in this case, these missing people that end up uh, possibly a serial killer is real. It's interesting the fact that they need to start working it. A number of open cases, including missing women and girls, first half of the year is already well above 46 at the end of 2022, according to the state's count. Portland police, who keep a separate record and responsible for only a portion of the 466 square miles of this county, and they investigate 489 missing person cases reports last year. That's a
Nope.
lot.
Maggie.
Some of the disappearances may be linked to Portland's liberal policies of homelessness and open air drug markets. And I'm gonna tell you something: the way it is up there, you can buy heroin, crack, fentanyl, anything you want. You can smoke it and do it on the street. And if a police officer stops you, he writes you $100 ticket and lets you go about your business with your drugs. And the ticket is this: if you go to a rehab, they'll tear up the ticket. They think that's going to make a difference. I think it's all BS.
Okay.
Um,
BC said they never want to say there is one they never want to say there's a serial killer because everyone will panic.
yeah, you
And what is it you say? There's 25
35 and the FBI said around 35
active
active serial killers in
at
the
any
United
given
States.
time. 35 serial killers at any given
Yeah.
time.
I think they probably think it's more.
Yeah.
You can't have these tent cities and these open air drug markets with which only breed this kind of behavior. He told Fox Digital News, it doesn't need to be a nefarious reason. Doesn't have to be a homicide. Doesn't have to be a homicide. So that whole area up there is just Portland. They say Portland's a beautiful city and all that. We will not go to Portland itself. We might go to the Oregon coast, but not Portland. Portland is just it's unbelievable. I've heard from other police officers say, they're just mostly staying there because of the pay. That's about it. Um, he said the suspects that more bodies. He said he suspects that more bodies will be found, likely due to overdoses, possibly concealed after the fact that by panicked fellow users who don't want to attract scrutiny. Um, if you think that there are only 6 bodies in that area, I think you're mistaken. They said there needs to be full investigation, including a cadaver dogs and everything else. Um, that Vander Slot pled not guilty to the stuff in Alabama. Police found the remains of Kristen Smith, 22, February 19th, Joanne Speaks, 32, April 8th, Charity Perry, 24, and an unidentified woman on April 24th, Bridget Webster, 31, April the 30th, Ashley Real, 22, May the 7th. Said of those bodies, only one has been publicly declared a homicide by investigators so far. The death of Speaks, who was found dead of a blunt head or neck injuries behind the abandoned barn
Dang.
22 miles north of Portland.
Hey, Tony's here. He's got service.
Good. Okay, we'll be on there in just a minute.
Hey, Lake Superior, glad you're here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we missed you. If we had only known, we usually do TikTok, and that lets people know what area we're in at that particular time.
You do TikTok. I do not do TikTok.
I do TikTok. Anyway, if you watch us on TikTok or on Instagram, there'll be something posted usually where we are.
All right. This is at least one case that's been linked to homeless encampments and open air drug markets. Perry, who police found dead inside a culvert in a state park there 35 miles east of the city, has a history of substance abuse, mental health problems. Her mother, Dana Allen, told Fox Digital Perry's mother believes she had been living in a tent in Vancouver, neighboring city just north, and learned later that her daughter had been seen in an open air fentanyl market in Portland, where she OD'd. That's awful. Really, really awful.
Weiss Lake.
What?
Weiss Lake is here. Alabama Chagrin. I wonder if that's Tina. Is this Tina? It might be.
Perry has taken to the hospital and received a dose of Narcan, her mother told Fox, but she was released without any verification of her address, and no one looked her up her background, and the hospital did not reach out to emergency contact her mother about the incident. I've been trying to find her every time. I went to the tent she was staying at. She wouldn't be there. Um, at first, I know that she went to Portland. Tell detectives informed me of this, that they can't give me a day of death, but it's pretty sure. Uh, see where I'm at. Let's see, location of park attempted to conceal her remains. Shows her daughter has taken it to the local and in the park in their attempt to secure her domain, conceal her remains. That's crazy. Okay, it says Allen said she could not discuss specifics of the case due to ongoing investigation, but she believes that evidence shows her daughter was taken to a location in the park in an attempt to conceal her remains. It seems to like there's a lot of work for a drug overdose, she said. So I am stuck on this blank up ride. I call the ring of fire. A blank up ride she calls a ring of fire. One side is trying. See this thing? I don't want to say
I
the
know.
word.
I was.
One side is trying to reach a for everything that may have a more innocent reasoning behind it. The others sucks you down a rabbit hole, and I fear I may never get out of it. Did you need something? You
No.
were tapping.
No. That's those rabbit holes sometimes can be impossible to get out of.
Okay. Flies in
We're near a cattle barn and there's flies all in the RV.
here. This is also
One of the victims.
Bridget Webster of Oregon was found dead April 30th in Polk County, Oregon. Despite her troubles, Perry was very friendly and eager to meet new people, her mother said. According to a report in the Oregon, investigators are looking as a possible connection between the deaths of Speaks, the lone confirmed homicide. Perry and Webster, all three died in a 3-week period. I believe they got one, unless they got a bunch of ODs down there. They can't.
BC said the one girl was constantly changing her looks with wigs. Smith think was the last name.
Okay. If you look in the history of a serial killer, they always prey on the most vulnerable. What is that? I can't pronounce it today. Specifically, people who are drug users, homeless, prostitutes, because they're transient. He said uh, people aren't really looking for them after a certain period of time, and the groups that these individuals hang around with, whether it's drug scene or the prostitution scene, are not really that friendly to police. Yeah. A search of the National Missing Unidentified Persons System database revealed at least 4 other John Doe or Jane Does were found in the region in 2022. A woman in Lovell, Oregon, in May, another in Salem, Oregon, in November, and 2 more women in Woodland, Washington, in March and April. One of them have been struck by a train. 2 were found on the side of a rural road, and the 4th was found floating in a Columbia River. Sound like they got a serial killer for sure. Uh, if a serial killer was involved in any of this, he or she has a perfect cover. That police officer said. We have people coming from different countries, different parts of the state, the open air drug scene, maybe prostitution, all those other things, and you have a city that has the abolish the police movement. Talk about a serial killer sweet spot. Portland, like a number of West Coast cities, has been struggling with the homelessness crisis for recent years. The city was established in a legal campsite reporting system and it gives the number residents can call.
Lake Superior said to be considered a serial killer, do all the murders have to be similar?
They had to be linked.
So they must have linked them somehow.
I mean, the thing is, you might have 25 choking victims, but if they can show that the offender's DNA, say, was left at the scene on these, and maybe 2 of them positive, and or maybe one used a knife and one used a gun, the one that's probably not the same killer.
But also, they're like sometimes serial killers take there was that one that took the women's panties.
They take a trophy.
Yeah, a trophy.
But that's not always a sign of a serial killer, too. I mean, it might just be
sicko. Yes, Beach Bum, we did get our new bed.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is awesome.
You will hear you will see a report, a video on it in the next couple of months. We're going to give it a maybe in July because we're going to give it some time to settle into it.
Melmac says, not to mention all the indigenous Native American women who have gone missing out of the way hotspots. That is really big up here. They have a lot of um those billboards on the side of the road.
Because they got reservations up here. You
Yeah.
got the Sioux Nation has a huge amount of land in South Dakota. Huge. Its area is unbelievable. Sioux, and then you have Crow Nation has a big area up here also. Uh, and I haven't seen the Apache yet, but I've seen Sioux and Crow signs of Sioux Nation and Crow Nation, and they have the signs that have the handprint on the face of the women, and there's
It's
a
a
lot,
bloody handprint.
yeah, and there's a lot of talk about missing indigenous people up here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty, at
I
least.
haven't seen any Cheyenne. I haven't seen any of the reservations that say Cheyenne yet.
Yeah, only thing I've heard is only thing I've seen is Crow and Sioux, and the Sioux Nation up here. I bet you I would say it's probably a third to half of South Dakota's Sioux Nation. It's unbelievable, and
TS said Apache
the
are in Texas.
and also the a lot of signs for they made the movie Dancing with the Wolves up here also. Yeah,
Tommy's favorite movie.
my favorite movie for Dancing with the Wolves, and I could when we went through the South Dakota, I could see where it could be made out there because you could ride for miles and miles and miles and never see a house. It's really really amazing.
I can't get over how overpopulated it is.
Yeah.
It's just so overpopulated.
Yeah, this place there's more animals in Wyoming than there are people.
I thought Montana.
No, it's
Wyoming?
Wyoming. Yes, more animals than there are people. Yeah, it's a great movie, the best movie
TS,
out there.
I can't watch it.
Best movie.
It's
I've seen it probably 2 or 3 times.
it makes me too sad.
Haven't I seen it 2 or 3 times?
You have. You have. He has 3 DVDs in
I
case
think,
one
honestly,
tears up.
I think I've seen it probably 30 times.
As many times have you seen The
And-
Bridesmaid?
Oh, I could watch it if it comes on because the scenery is incredible. The scenery is really, really incredible, and the fact,
I messed up the writing. Gail, you don't have to holler at us.
yeah, I really love the scenery, and when you drive through this area, you say, "Man, that looks just like the movie set out here." It's amazing. It really,
Y'all,
really is.
Beach Bum, you got to come out to this area and just see how. I mean, every
It's
state has
amazing.
its beautiful things. Don't get me wrong. Alabama, Tennessee. I mean, we've got beautiful stuff, but out west, you've got to come out here and see. What I like is driving down the road. There's almost nothing but land as
And
far as you can see.
I mean, just on this ranch last night, we saw about 10 what's those antelope?
Oh, there's more than
And
that.
a bunch of antelope, and the antelope's wild, of course. We've seen
She
buffalo.
says, no, thank you.
We've seen
Beach bum.
buffalo. We've seen antelope in the wild, buffalo in the wild. And I think Dina even saw a gorilla.
What?
Maddie
said she's watched it at least 20 times.
Yeah, it's great, great movie.
I get it confused with A Man Called Horse, where they put that bone in him right there and hung him up. I can't. Yeah.
Well, another great movie is Jeremiah Johnson too. I love that movie too. I watched it as many times as.
Hey, let me tell you. This is about the missing. Let me tell you something I saw today. This man was talking about his a family member of his that was a young lady went to Hobby Lobby, and she was in there, and she noticed that somebody was following her. So she went up and down the different aisles, and that person was still there, and they were on their phone. Anyway, she went up to the manager. It was getting close to time for closing, and she went up to the register and asked them. She said, I feel like somebody's following me around, and they've been watching me, and I would like someone to escort me to my car. And so the girl called the manager up there. He went back and watched the cameras, and sure enough, he said he came back up and told her that guy was following her, and he was over behind a display looking out the window waiting on her to go out. He was still on the phone, so they thought somebody was there to come by and get her. So they called the police. They escorted her out to her car, made sure she got in, and this manager said, I want you to pull out of the parking lot and come in front of the store, slow down, and wave at me. And that way, if anybody's following you, we'll get that on camera. And so anyway, she got away. But that was so smart. And see, be aware of your surroundings,
Okay,
guys.
let me do something. Tony's being funny.
What Tony say?
Let me do something. Get up here. Get your thing down.
You better not.
Turn that around and show them out the windshield that countryside real quick, because then we're going to have to go to our next show. We're getting very close to
being. We took the
being.
granddaughters to Mount Rushmore and Custard Park last summer.
Here.
Okay.
Turn it around where the camera would be. Camera's right there, facing us, so you have to turn around. Can you see that out there?
All right, hold on. I'll put them in the windshield. This is out our windshield, guys. Can you see up there? Look. Up there in the corner, way up there in the corner is horses and the cows. The guy owns 5,000 acres. Isn't it beautiful? And then look at this. Wait a minute. Whoop, I don't want to drop y'all. Look at that beautiful baby. Okay.
Yeah, and I got the cats in there, and then Gracie's right there. But it's unbelievable. Now
He said he saw a UFO.
Where?
Out there.
Yeah, you probably did. And I was going to set up a camera tonight and catch the stars. But,
Beach Bum ain't going to make the show tonight. Oh, wait.
I can't because
wait.
It's too close.
Wait a minute. Let me pull up something real quick. I want to show y'all something.
Hey, where is the...
Hold on. I want to show y'all something.
My power cord, I lost it.
They can't go. I'm going to have to figure out how to get this up there real quick. Hold on.
Hold on 1 second.
I got to show y'all this. It's so good. Come on. Where'd it go?
What?
Here it is. Y'all, you didn't know this, but Tommy, whoops. Can you see it? Look at his brother. We found his brother. Cool, huh?
Give me that power cord, please. That was an alien mock-up at the Devil's Tower, you know, because it's that movie.
It looked just like
Close
Tommy,
Encounters of the Third Kind. They play it every single night, that movie, at a place out there.
TS, we are going to Montana tomorrow.
We'll be in Montana for one night, and then we go to Yellowstone for 5 nights. Okay, we are going over and yeah, that was Tony standing beside me. You're exactly right, Beach Bum. That was Tony standing right beside me.
Somebody asked Tommy. Somebody said, "Tommy, we didn't know you had a son."
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go because we're gonna have to be. Me and Tony gonna try to do this. He was having trouble with the internet.
They got bad storms.
They got bad storms down there.
Beach Bum,
Pray
all
for
y'all
them
stay
folks.
careful.
Yeah, y'all stay good. It's supposed to be in Atlanta tonight. I think some bad stuff is. So y'all be careful.
Wait. Gail said, "Did you hear about Las Vegas?" No. What about Las Vegas?
What about Las Vegas?
I don't know. She's going to tell me. Tell me what's about Las Vegas.
Yeah, we got about 3 minutes. We got to go.
about Las Vegas. We're heading for you guys too. We got to come back through Oklahoma and places like that. I hope we don't end up with some baseball sides hell.
I'm trying. Also, we're going to try to meet up with AK somewhere around Colorado Springs. I need to call him.
Oh, she's talking about the aliens. She's
Yeah,
talking about the
yeah,
aliens in Las
yeah.
Vegas. Yes, we
Yeah,
did hear
did.
about that, Gail.
But anyway, we're going to try to meet up with AK. And while we're in Yellowstone, we are going to also try to find that place where they put the Gabby Petito.
Not Yellowstone, Utah.
No, that was in Yellowstone, wasn't it?
No, Tommy, it was over near
No,
Utah.
I think it was in
Okay,
Yellowstone.
y'all tell him real quick. He's lost his mind. It was in Utah.
No, it wasn't. It was in Yellowstone.
Beach Bum, tell him where Gabby got lost. Got killed. Utah.
Okay,
See?
well, we're in Utah.
It was in.
Moab?
Yeah.
We might not be down there. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's go. We'll see you over there on the other side me and Tony's
in the Tetons, they
place.
said.
Well, we'll be in the Tetons. We'll try to find it for sure.
Yeah, we're going to try to find it.
See you in a few minutes.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for coming.